G'day, Chief. Welcome to the Inner Chief podcast and this special episode, which we call the Mini Chief. These are short, sharp highlights from our fabulous guests, where you get a 5 to 10 minute snapshot from their episode. Righto, Chief. Without further ado, here is the Mini Chief episode for this week with Paula Martin of Business New South Wales. So, now you've got this wonderful job. You've come back to the business world, and now you're at Business New South Wales, and you look after this incredible array of business owners. What are you learning from them? Like, what's the number one trait you see in business owners in this age, going on right now, that you think is just probably the most important for their success?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure that the most important trait has changed too much, because what business owners, but probably what's changed more is the delivery of the strategy. But successful business owners for me are those that are actually risk takers, because you are taking a risk when you are running a business, whether that be a financial risk, an ideological risk, a workforce risk, your personal risk.
It's on the line, right? Yeah,
Pardon?
things are on the line.
Yeah, but it's more business owners are in business because they're either trying to solve a problem or they have a vision for a better future. So it's kind of like really those two buckets.
Yeah.
And in order to problem solve or solve a problem or to see a vision of the future, there's a really high level of risk that's required to enable the solutions to both of those things. And I don't think that's necessarily changed from when I was a young worker to being a more mature adult now.
Yeah.
I don't think that level's changed at all. You have to have, for a successful business leader, you have to have that fire in your belly, that curiosity, that willingness to stay on course. And no one's going to change that for you. You can take all the feedback in to be able to determine different ways to execute, but you can't teach initiative. You can't teach fire in the belly. You can't teach drive. That's a dimension that is just inbuilt. Some people have it and some people don't. I think what has changed is potentially our decision-making framework, because 20 years ago, we didn't have to factor in environmental impacts, workforce impacts, health impacts. The world's changed in 20 years. We're a lot more aware of the environment that we're operating in. We're a lot more self-aware as human beings even. So I think that component has changed in your process of being a leader, but not necessarily what hasn't changed is the intention of why you started that business in the first place, and that energy and that drive that you want to make a difference in whatever field you choose. But the process of executing that as a leader has changed significantly, because we have a lot more information available to us now, and we've got to process that. And certainly what's different now is a leader has to be a healthcare provider, has to be a family, has to be a compliance officer, or all the different levels, aspects of running a business. That leader has to have all of that in their pocket now. Whereas 20 years ago, potentially that was a little bit more immature.
Yeah. I think this is getting to something I'd like to talk to you about, which is the overwhelm or the burnout that so many leaders or business owners, or both, are going through a really challenging time where there are so many priorities that it's almost impossible to know, or even they might be able to work out what the priorities should be, but being able to say no and getting back to just a few key things is really hard. Are you seeing that?
Oh, 100%. I'm definitely seeing the concept of strategies changing. So where we used to strategize 5 years, 10 years out, those timeframes have really shortened up.
Yeah.
And that's because of the impact of technology in the way that we grow and shape our businesses. So really what I'm seeing in my own business, but also in our members for Business New South Wales, when we talk strategy, we're really talking, let's get through the next 12 months, have a 3-year outlook, but be prepared to change it in 6 months' time if we have to, because there's the black swans, there's the geopolitical tensions. There are so many factors. There could be a health scare. There are so many factors now. And relating to risk, to what I've absolutely changed in terms of a leadership function is that the resilience now has really risen to the top as an attribute of a leader. So you've got to be able to be resilient for any impact that comes your way. And actually the difference between a good leader and a great leader, as I see it, and this is my experience only, is your ability to bounce back from an impact.
Yep.
Whatever it might be, a financial impact, a workforce impact, whatever. Really great leaders are those that are actually able to bounce back from any impact that happens to them or their business. That's really what I'm starting to see really change in this concept of leadership. Resilience wasn't so massive back in my 20s and 30s.
No.
Greed was good back then, as Gordon Gekko said. So it was a little bit different.
Well, I think the overwhelm, the burnout was different.
The burnout was very different.
Very, very different. It was a different kind of burnout. Like, I think people used to work long hours, but the cognitive overload of 1,000 tasks and 1,000 things we're all trying to manage, plus home is more complex than it used to be because kids do a lot more than they used to.
You just didn't have information flowing at you every second through your media.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's really what's driving a lot of this overwhelm.
Yeah, yeah. What's the number one question you get asked by members?
Confirmation that the direction they're taking is the right direction.
So they're checking the strategy.
And the way they ask it is, who can I connect to that can help me with X?
Yep.
Where can I find a piece of content that can help me with Y? The decision I've just undertaken, can I just double check that there are going to be no hidden surprises along the way, because this is the decision I've taken? So it's more related to, is my pathway, is my journey on the right track? And is there anything that I should be aware of that's coming over the horizon that might impact this decision?
Sort of goes back to
I
what...
know it sounds
generic.
No,
it's quite clear. I get what you're saying. And it links back to what you're saying about the risk that business owners carry. They're worried there's another thing they can't see around the corner, and they're going to make a bet on this. It might take more energy, it might take cash, it might take people. There's a lot of things they've got to consider when they're making strategic moves or any kind of move, and they just don't have the energy to make another mistake. There's enough mistakes we all make in business as it is, right?
Yeah.
All right, Chief, there we have it for this week with your mini Chief episode. All the links and resources for the episode can be found at chiefmaker.com/383. Chief, do you want to know how to give and receive feedback like an elite sporting coach? I've bridged the gap between elite sport and business now for about 15 years, and I've been taking some of those lessons from sport into business. We've turned that into a really cool downloadable PDF, and there's also some accompanying episodes in the podcast. Just go to chiefmaker.com/feedback. There's a really awesome PDF. It's got templates, it's got scripts, process, things to consider about how to give feedback, prepare the feedback, and foster a culture in your team. chiefmaker.com/feedback. And if you would like to stay in touch and hear all about some of the best resources that you can find anywhere in the world to improve your performance at work, go to chiefmaker.com/subscribe. Now, Chief, if you're yet to rate the episode and subscribe, I hope you'll do so soon. It helps others see the magnificent value that the chiefs and gurus bring to their life and career. So make sure you hit subscribe on your podcast app now. Give it a 5-star rating if you think it's worthy, and leave a short review about your favourite episode. Righto, Chiefs, as always, remember to stay epic.